Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk about Snapchat stock, and I want to share a few things that I personally think about their earnings, how you could profit off this play, and how you could potentially continue to make money from this social media industry and sector doing so well during these COVID lockdowns and during this time when a lot of people are unfortunately having to be at home. So just to first talk about Snapchat, I want to head over to an article here where they talk about the earnings report that they actually had 2 days ago. And if you actually saw what happened with that earnings report, you would see that Snapchat stock ran up around 30% since the earnings report. And this is absolutely incredible for a stock that really only has one product. And even though I'm very bullish on Snapchat continuing this growth and continuing this great earnings into the future, I still think that we have to really consider what this company is before we invest and potentially before starting into a new long-term or swing position on the stock. So just to get us all started, I do want to say that they had an incredible earnings here. They beat their expectations by over $100 million. And obviously it's very deserved that their stock does run 20 to 30% as a result of this great news. And also, you can see that they had 52% quarter over quarter increase in revenue. So these are some incredible numbers over year, and especially quarter over quarter with economic times being really tough for a lot of companies, and especially with a lot of these tech stocks being overvalued and being over 200, 300% what they were worth last year. I feel like Snapchat is one of these only positions where people still feel like they might be getting a great value for a company that is still growing and still improving on a daily basis. So just to come back over to the chart on Snapchat, I want to share a few reasons why personally I would not invest into this play yet, and why I would wait into the future, as well as what other companies I'm watching to potentially play off this Snap news, because the sector is very active now, and the sector of social media companies has really gotten a lot more volume over the last 3 days. And I've been trading other companies such as Work or Twitter. If you did watch my 100% options trading video, where I was able to make a pretty substantial profit off this Snapchat earnings run, but without having to play the volatility and really the uncertainty of Snapchat. So even though they've had a extremely good earnings, you can see that the day immediately following the earnings, they were looking to pull back a little. And after they did, they absolutely rocketed up in after hours. And it's going to be critical for me to see whether they can continue staying above the 50 EMA in order to know whether this play still has steam on it, or if potentially we're going to see maybe a pullback into the next few days here on Snapchat. So if you know anything about stocks, you know that nothing can run forever, and what goes up must at least come down a little bit. So that's why I'm really being careful on entering a position on Snap, especially a long position after 3 days of just running and running up. So you can see the volume has held up very well. And even though we are seeing a little bit decreased volume today, it's not really a bad sign. It just shows that people are becoming more and more uncertain of the price continuing to run up. So what's going to be the key for me to know whether this stock continues to have more steam or whether we're looking for a pullback is going to be what I'm seeing on the hourly or daily chart. Now, you can see that the hourly chart shows an extremely green push, and when they do break these previous levels of resistance, they have been able to substantially break above. And now you can see that we're forming another smaller level around $42. So my personal recommendation would be, if you are thinking of investing into this company in the long term, wait to see if they are able to break above this $43 level. Now, granted, you are going to miss out on a couple of cents if you do wait on this trade, but potentially 60 cents of wait will save you over $2-3 of drop if you do see where this trend is headed, and potentially it's the opposite of what you would like to trade. Now, if you are looking for a long trade to the upside, just wait for this 43 to break, and that way you can know that we are going to be seeing another run, maybe similar to the one we got on Wednesday of this same week, or even yesterday, Thursday. So that's why I'm really keen on watching what's going to be happening before I really make an executive decision on playing this company long or short. And especially on the daily chart, you can see that we've had 2 days of just absolute gapping upwards in after hours. And even during regular hours trading, this company has just continued to push upwards. And I think that it really puts us in a scenario, in a situation where it's unrealistic not to expect at least a small pullback. Now, I don't think we'll really have a pullback like what we were seeing in July, but I do think that we are going to be seeing some kind of a dollar pullback, some kind of a cool down or a consolidation in this stock. So that would be the best opportunity that I would offer any traders to buy in when you are looking for maybe a trade to the upside or a longer term swing position. Don't let yourself be swayed by the fact that this stock has moved maybe 5% in the last few days. Just continue waiting for a great price for yourself, and that way nobody can take the money if it's in your pocket. So that's really my recommendation with these plays like Snapchat, where they've already really run up the majority of what's going to happen. And that way you really maximize your reward to risk ratio. Now, if you invested at $28, obviously you had a lot more reward than risk seeing these key levels on Snapchat. But now that they've broken up to the upside, if you're considering a trade around the $40, $45 range, you're really not getting a lot more upside for the amount of risk that you still have to take off. So just be very careful with trades like this and earnings plays that potentially seem like they could continue running up, but are unfortunately losing steam. So like I said, I'm very bullish on Snapchat, but I do see them pulling back a little bit in the next few days. And that's probably going to be the best time to buy if you are a swing trader and looking to hold this position maybe for the next few years or potentially into the next earnings, which I think will continue to show the company as growing. So that's why I really recommend to wait and not buy in on this position maybe tomorrow or even before the close today on Friday, as holding over the weekend has proven to be kind of dangerous in this market. So that's my analysis on Snap. Now, I want to show you a few other companies that have also been running over the last few days and how to really see what's going to be happening, whether or not they will break upwards or downwards, and what is the best price to invest. And those companies are going to be Slack Technologies and Twitter. So just to get started off with Slack Technologies, the ticker symbol is WORK, and you can see that they've gapped down pretty heavily ever since this Snapchat news. And if we come down on the lower time frame charts, I'm really watching these key levels to break in order to know whether or not this is a trade to the upside or the downside. Now, the volume has been pitiful on this stock over the last few days, as many traders really leave it to potentially trade other stocks like Twitter or like Snapchat. And really, this is one of the best times to maybe look for a trade if you are a long-term bull on Slack or on Work stock. And I really think that if you are able to see these levels and you are able to find a trade near this support or resistance, you'll be getting a very good bang for your buck. And this is a company that could continue to grow into the future, like Snapchat or like Twitter. So just keep a close eye out on this company. I think they do have a lot of potential in the long run, although we've seen a big pullback over the last few days with this Snapchat earnings and with other news coming out about social media stocks. So the next stock I want to talk about is Twitter, and Twitter has been running up massively over the last few weeks, and that's why I really like this company as an opportunity to potentially buy maybe a longer term swing or even a shorter term swing if you want to be more risky. But honestly, guys, what I'm watching on Twitter here is for a continuation if they can break this one key level. So as you can see, obviously they've been in a clear upwards direction. Now, I don't plot the bottom of this chart just because I don't really look for them to be coming from the bottom. I'd rather buy a momentum trade where they're already at the top and break out of this range and go parabolic. And that's really the type of trade that I've been watching on Twitter for the last few days. And I think that this is going to be the moment when it happens, is when they break this 50-30. So you can see they've really been trading near or at this level 50-30 for the last few trading days and ever since this Snapchat earning news. And now they're really testing it very strongly again, creating kind of a small ascending wedge here on the stock. And that's what I'm really watching to see whether or not they can break above this level, or if they will see a lot more resistance and potentially get rejected back down to the 48.18. Now, like I always tell you guys, it is critical in a market that is so volatile to be absolutely direction independent of what stocks are doing and of what your personal belief is on a stock. So with Twitter, obviously, I think they have a lot more room to the upside than downside. And even though they've run up massively, I still look to them for a long-term swing to the upside. But even regardless of all that, I was able to catch this huge trade here all the way from $50.26 to $48. And I did call this out in our trading Discord, and a lot of people were able to make money as a result of this call out. So if you want to join that Discord, the link is down in the description. It's going to be completely free to join for daily plays and signals, and honestly just a community where you can ask questions and find other traders with a similar interest. So that's what's up with the Discord. But like I said, I mentioned this play over there actually, and it was able to gain around 25% gains at the top of the profit. So I pulled out around 20%. I'm not as risky as a trader, and I like to make sure I maximize my profit or just secure it instead of maybe looking for that extra 5% and catching a pullback and losing it all. So that's why I really pulled out early from this position, and you can see that it has benefited me massively as Twitter has really come up again to the 50-30, and now I'm looking for a trade to the upside. I'm just praying that this can break soon so that maybe we can see a trade before market close, but unfortunately it doesn't really seem like they have the strength on the volume chart with this declining volume to potentially break above this level. So come Monday again, I'm going to be watching to see whether they get rejected at this level again, and potentially this could be a great time to buy some puts on this company and maybe short them in the very short run all the way to around $46 if they do really lose steam, and especially Snapchat if they do lose steam coming into next week. So just watch these social media stocks. They have a lot of increased volume right now and a lot of increased volatility, and it's going to be very key to see whether they're breaking below the levels that are expected or potentially continuing to run above, as this will be a great opportunity for any trader who wants to make an easy swing trade based on these key levels. As you can see, they're very much holding these key levels, and it's going to be a very easy swing trade for anyone who has the time to see this technical analysis and see these support and resistance levels. So that's going to be great. Now, if you want to get daily plays and signals, like I said, Discord link down in the description. It's free to join. Every single day we're in there chatting, commenting, a community, etc. So that's great if you want to join that. And as always, guys, thank you so much for the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video, and I hope your trades are all green.